It seems like Starfield and Bethesda fanboys are finally starting to find problems with this game after 500 hours. But at least they are.
All right, so here we go. So yes, I cannot believe this is an actual discussion within the Starfield community. I cannot wait to see what you guys have to say about this one. But also, it's that time of year
Okay.
again. The inevitable has happened when everyone starts asking the question, what is going to be labeled as the game of the year? And of course,
Well, I really don't think it's gonna be Starfield. In fact, I think I'm very willing to bet money it's not gonna be Starfield, okay?
Starfield is in this discussion among some very heavy hitters like Baldur's Gate 3, the new Zelda game, and even Armored Core 6. So yeah, we got to take a look at that discussion as well. Plus,
It's gonna be Baldur's Gate. You know it, I know it, everyone should know it. It's Baldur's Gate, 100%.
there's one aspect of Starfield that is a hot topic right now that everyone is talking about, and it'll surprise you. It definitely relates to the morality system in the game, or the lack of morality system.
I was gonna say the lack of morality system, because the morality system was designed by a 10-year-old. The dialogues were designed by a 10-year-old. Being evil is kind of comical at best in this game, honestly. The evil choices are so cartoonishly evil, you don't want to even try to be evil, honestly. And the good choices are so mind-numbingly basic, it's not really even a choice.
In the game, I suppose you would say. So yeah, we're gonna dive into that one as well. We're also gonna be going over your top comments. But yeah, take a look at this right here. So once again, they updated Bloodline Heroes of Lithis in a very big way. They
How about not today? Everyone knows what's Bloodline Heroes of Lithis at this point. Use his code and it's gonna be fine. Okay?
that subscribe button, by the way. Turn on the bell notification icon to never miss another upload. But yes, check out the headline. It says, Starfield is 100% Game of the Year. This is quite the bold statement by Exist. It says, I must say, I have never felt a ride so thrilling as I did when playing Starfield. From the lovingly crafted worlds to the brilliantly written quests and side quests, relatable characters and thought-provoking decision-making, everything just came together so perfectly, creating one of the, if not the best game I have ever played. And that says quite a bit, seeing I have been gaming for over 20 years. Step aside, Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield has right to the Game of Year title. Wow. So Prowl replied saying, I'm glad you enjoyed it, OP, but prepare to get trolled. And then my 2 cents says Steam really needs a formatting tag for sarcasm.
You know what's the thing? I honestly expected that One World Gaming will call this sarcasm, or someone's gonna call it sarcasm. But you know what's the dark truth of reality? This is probably not even sarcasm. This person is probably 100% serious. There's a bunch of NPCs out in this world. Think about how many people don't have an inner monologue. They just do things at random and they don't even know why they are doing it. Yeah, so I easily see it that a lot of people are unquestionably thinking that Starfield is the game of the year, the game of the decade even. Todd Howard said it's gonna be played into forever, you know? I would not be surprised that this is a 100% serious comment. Again, there's a lot of people who think this game is good. And all of those people deserve the rope, probably.
Todd's making fake stream accounts now as if nobody has played this game. Starfield is a good game. I'm enjoying it, but I don't think it's a level of a game of the year, but
You see this? You see? This is 100% a real person who unironically thinks that Starfield somehow is a good game. Yeah? Let that sink in.
I will still keep playing it. And then Sergeant Morris simply says, wrong. So what is your take on the matter? Do you think Starfield has any chance of winning Game of the Year versus
But the sad part is it's going to be nominated for Game of the Year because Game of the Year works on popularity mostly.
big heavy hitter like Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, there's many layers to this. Of course, I feel like Starfield, for me personally, has been such an enjoyable, fun experience. But I also feel like Baldur's Gate 3 came out of the middle of nowhere and just surprised everyone on so many different levels in terms of the writing, the gameplay, the sheer variety in terms of choice and consequence. It is absolutely maddening what they have pulled off with Baldur's Gate 3. So I would not be surprised if, when it's all said and done, Baldur's Gate 3 did end up taking the title of Game of the Year. But yeah, I challenge you right now to put a comment down below of your top 3 games of this year so far. I'm kind of curious to see how...
I think it's gonna be Baldur's Gate. And it's gonna be in most serious competition with Tears of a Kingdom, you know, because Zelda fanboys are also in droves and billions. But Zelda is a good, decent-ish game at the bare minimum, so at least they have a point, okay? And the third spot is gonna be Hogwarts Legacy. Don't forget, that game came out this year. And again, the Harry Potter crowd is ginormous, big. It literally created a billionaire. A book literally created a billionaire. Do not forget that part. And the fan base, well, they're pretty active, honestly. Harry Potter fans are, you know, very active and very happy about, well, pretty much almost anything Harry Potter. And Harry Potter, and Hogwarts Legacies, I want to call it Harry Potter Legacies, was very well received by, well, virtually everyone. No one complained about the bugs too much. No one could complain about the gameplay. Everyone liked it. There were minor story complaints, technically, kinda. You know, by some people at the end, as much as I understand it, but not the biggest deal in the universe. Starfield can't rival any of these 3 games, and probably can't even rival any good game this year.
Alan Wake 2 was received, of course, but I don't know if that's like past the cutoff date to even be considered for this year's Game of the Year awards, but it doesn't really matter. I think Alan Wake 2 is going to be exceptional when that releases, and that's going to be one I think that really does surprise a lot of people. All right, so next up, we got to talk about this one right here as well. Check it out. It says, Starfield players disappointed with horrible space pirate experience. Oh, really?
Or in general, a pirate experience, or the space experience, or the game experience. I mean, pick one.
Now, is this you? Because there are a lot of people that agree with this. Check it out. Nearly 8,200 upvotes says playing as a pirate really sucks. This is the source of that article. This is a post by Nios on Reddit. It says, so for my second playthrough, I wanted to do the typical thing I do in every Bethesda game. Play a bad guy. And oh lord, they did not.
Imagine having a second playthrough in the first place. Man, that takes dedication.
I want you to do this. This is something time and time.
Also, what do you mean second playthrough? Do you mean New Game Plus? Or did you do the sensible thing and just make a new character?
Time again, I have noticed, by the way, with this game, even if you want to be like the type of bad guy that's more like into heist, you know, that sort of thing, they really kind of have these companions that are actively discouraging you. But yeah, let's keep going, shall we?
There's not a single companion in this game, by the way, who is even remotely evil or bad. Every single companion is the same copy paste of lawful good. You know, the lawful kind is a scale here, but still lawful good pretty much, without question.
So it says, I could type up countless upon countless examples of how this game completely fails to let you roleplay as a bad guy while also accomplishing quests, but I'm going to keep it simple and cry about how horrible my experience trying to be a space pirate is. It says, I go accept some of the Crimson Fleet missions. For piracy, I convinced one ship to give me all of their cargo. They escape with their lives. Bounty added immediately attacked by a UC ship. Defend myself. More bounty added. Try to grav jump away, but they have buddies and my grav drive is disabled for some reason despite it being completely intact. End up killing multiple UC ships to defend myself. Also being attacked by random civilian ships. At this point, my bounty is now over 100k. I clearly can...
Okay, so a military ship failed to take the guy out. What's the civilian gonna do? Ah, yes, it's time for glory.
Not pay this. He's in trouble. So it says, what are my options? Plan A. I try surrendering and going to jail. End up taking over 10k experience hit. Yes, that is right. Basically blocking leveling progress for several hours. I thought I'd be clever and wait until I leveled up.
10k experience hit is probably a bigger block than just a couple of hours. Think about it, how much much you get for just deleting a basic mob. Anywhere from 5 to, 100 experience or something like that? Man, that takes a while. That's probably 10 hours worth of experience right there, without any major quests.
To go to jail, but the game just nukes you with a...
Admittedly, I will say this. Considering how bad level upping in this game is, and this is the first Bethesda game where I legitimately have had absolutely no interest in level upping because it just feels bad, useless, and in general unexciting. Does a 10k hit honestly even matter that much? I don't know. I don't think it matters because leveling doesn't matter to begin with. If leveling mattered, it was like any other Fallout game where you are so excited to get that level up. Oh, you're only 25% experience away from getting it. Oh, I'm gonna finish this quest. I'm gonna turn it in. It's gonna be big. That talent point, that juicy. Oh, it's gonna be so amazing. Gonna put more points into lock picking or sneak. Oh, it's gonna be an experience. No, Starfield has none of this. Starfield doesn't have any single great moment in level up. I wouldn't be surprised if people honestly forget that they level up. It's like Fallout 76. You kind of want to level up because you get stronger, but at one point you notice that, oh, I have leveled up 3 times now and haven't spent the level ups because, it's just bad. I think a game has failed fundamentally beyond reason when something as basic, as core to the experience, as leveling up and becoming stronger feels absolutely meaningless.
Negative 10,000 experience on me, so I'm just running on an XP deficit forever. That'll be so fun to dig myself out of as a reward for engaging with a piracy mechanic built into the game. Reminder that most generic quests give you like 75 to 100 experience for completion. Do you guys think they're being too harsh with the consequences they have set in this game when it comes to that deficit with experience? Let me know. I'm kind of curious on this one and if it needs to be adjusted with a future patch. Now it says this. Okay, plan B, what if I just try to exist with my bounty? I'm blocked from ever accessing any major UC city due to any quest whatsoever because I am immediately confronted or attacked.
Well, this should honestly not be a problem, but this is Starfield we're talking about. This is not a problem in any previous Bethesda title, okay? But this is a problem in Starfield because there's only like 2 locations in the whole fucking universe that are cities. And, well, pretty much all but one are, aligned with one side of you. Think about any other Bethesda game that you have played. You can mow down a city and unless it's affiliated with some kind of major faction like, the NCR in New Vegas. You're completely fine. You have so many other places to visit, to go to trade, to do quests in, and you're locked out of a very minor part of the game for a huge roleplay opportunity that you, for example, hate the NCR, you hate the Legion. You are locked of so little out. But in this game, yeah, if you become the UC's opponent, you're locked out of 95% of the game. That is it. And even in those Fallout games, you still had a reputation slider. Well, not reputation slider, but a reputation bar, which means you can mow down a settlement of someone and still not be in their worst position. You know, they're still not gonna just hate you and attack you instantly. Even though that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's really good game-wise.
The moment I step foot off my ship, I also have to fast travel everywhere, specifically to the city, to even get that far, so I don't get attacked by patrol ships, excuse me. Now it says Plan C. Just pay the bounty? In an ecosystem where traders in a neutral place like the Key have about 20k combined, I get to go loot 100k of stuff and then wait 48 hours, 5 different times to sell enough stuff to pay off the bounty. Real cool. I am so immersed. Todd. Yeah, it seems like
True.
this system is definitely irritating players for sure. And
by the way, I love the fact that from the beginning of Starfield, everyone who's trying to be positive about this game has pretty much done one thing. They don't highlight the good parts of the game. You know, if they try, it pretty much starts and ends at shipbuilding, even though it's useless. And everyone who tries to be positive just ends up doing one thing. Well, the game's not actually as bad as people say. The graphics aren't that bad. The AI's not bad. The storytelling's not that bad. You know, there's one cool quest in the game. So, you know, the writing's not that bad. There's one cool quest. Yeah, no one actually talks about the good parts of Starfield because they don't exist. Every fanboy of Starfield is just trying to tell you that it's not that bad. And even these videos that are supposed to be positive about Starfield are slowly but steadily turning into Starfield's not that bad, boys. Trust me, okay? It's not that bad. Amazing.
Needs to be fine-tuned. Now it says, I know I'm not the first one to complain about this, but my god, trying to do an evil run is just miserable in this game, and it feels like it wasn't thought out or play tested in any way at all. I know some people will say, well, you should be punished for being evil, and to that, I would say, yeah, but at least let me play the game, send bounty hunters after me, make some shops not want to talk to me or deal with me or whatever. In Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout, etc., you can still enter major cities. You just don't want to get too close or talk to guards when you are wanted. This game, it feels as if they completely cockblock you from even playing this game. Kind of an unorganized rant, but I guess I'm just pretty frustrated right now. It really just feels as if a few programmers built this back end to be a space pirate. There are literally piracy mission boards, but nobody bothered to try it out during actual play testing. And we do have some replies. And
the piracy mission boards are probably AI generated, by the way. All the mission boards are probably just AI generated. You will not find a single quest that has been touched by a human there.
Has a whopping 5,000 upvotes. So yeah, let's see what they have to say here, shall we? So it says this right here. I just want to know how every soul in the universe knows immediately that I picked up a pin off some desk and now they all want to kill me when I have to literally hand deliver a slate with probably the most important information on it, because apparently there's no email or texting in the future. Yeah, you know, there's also the fact that you're alone on some of these spaceships and you pick up even like ammo and all of a sudden it turns into contraband. I said in my initial review, I thought the contraband system was way too harsh. You should feel like you've actually gotten away with stealing something. You know what I mean? Like pulled off something. I don't feel like every single thing would be able to be labeled as contraband. I feel like that system is a little bit overdone in my opinion. But yeah, when it comes to actually embracing the pirate life, I have to say they needed some sort of territory in space.
Also, you know what's my favorite part about open world games? It's the fact that every single video of his uses the exact same footage of him playing Starfield. Because he doesn't play Starfield. That's my bet. Well, obviously, it takes a lot of time to actually research and do these videos and whatnot. That's true. But, man, I bet he hasn't touched Starfield in at least a week or two. Probably 3 weeks. That's the reality.
That would be considered run by outlaws, where you can kind of freeform it among various planets that was overseen essentially by the pirates. And As a more lawful person, going in there would be dangerous. You know that this is a pirate's territory, but as a pirate...
By the way, even pirates confiscate your stolen things. Yeah, let that just sink in a bit.
You know you're more laid back and comfortable, and you can get away with stuff within that territory. Not to say that there wouldn't be consequences, but you would have the option to really pursue more shady stuff and have more adventures in that way without facing the law. The law would have to really go through a lot to get to you because that territory would be...
By the way, just a little bit on your Todd Howard's favorite word, realism. This guy is using something that's supposed to atomically disintegrate you and acts essentially like a goddamn shotgun, okay? And he's shooting like 50 rounds in this guy. And that guy is not wearing armor. Everyone in Starfield is wearing a basic space suit. Because because this world is kind of a little bit like Steam space punkish, or how you want to ever say it. And the thing about spacesuits is, someone also commented this down below, is the fact that, yeah, if you're out in space, you don't want anything exploding near you, because one, they don't actually give any defense. Second of all, exploding much more bad than something just going through you. And that's true. And that's actually very, very true. If you're wearing a spacesuit like this, it offers you less protection than a t-shirt. Well, probably slightly more protection than a t-shirt. But it is literally designed so it has zero any resistances. So yeah. And explosions? No, that's a big no. When you have a tube of air going from somewhere to somewhere, yeah, you don't want that receiving any force, honestly.
Do a lot to get to you because that territory would be protected by pirates. At least I think that would be really cool to see that in this game, and it's something I really, really wish they had, like a more outlaw territory in space. Let me know if you guys think that would be a cool idea or not. But yeah, we also have this headline right here. I kid you not, this is an actual...
Bruh, also, let me just show you one thing about the graphics. You see this? You see this? You can literally see where the laser was just, cut off in paint. It's a straight line here. It's a straight line. There's no fuzziness around the edges. It's just a straight cut off line, because Bethesda thinks that this is moving so fast that no one's gonna notice that our lasers are blunt.
This is an actual discussion. It says this: Starfield is too polished. I miss Skyrim and Fallout's bugs. So Starfield is a new standard for performance and polish in Bethesda RPGs, but I miss the comedy and character of Skyrim, Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas' bugs. Never thought in my water streams that I would be reading this one, but we have got to dive into this, and maybe...
This is not satire, by the way, because unironically, I remember everyone as one, and including me, thinks that this is Bethesda's most polished game. Yeah, it still has bugs that you encounter every roughly 2 minutes, but it still is Bethesda's most polished game ever.
There's something to it. Let me know if you agree, because I know I had so many moments in Skyrim in particular where I was laughing out loud. I will always remember the first time I saw a dragon. It was upside down and it was flying backwards. But then I put down the game. What happens when that does actually happen in a game is you kind of like, at least in my experience, even with Cyberpunk 2077 with their glitches, I have to put it down until it's patched. Because I do want to play it as intended, and be able to look at the sky and go, wow, a dragon, and not be like, what the hell is going on? But anyway, we have this right here. Let's read it, shall we? So, says this: Starfield surprised me after Oblivion, Fallout 3, The Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4. I expected new version of Bethesda creation engine to be somehow buggier. And this, by the way, comes from PCGamesIn.com, sources in the description. Now it says, the bugs for me have become a fundamental part of the Bethesda RPG experience. If the studio makes a new engine in the same way it allows for better graphics, sound, animations, and all that other stuff, it should also come with better bugs. There's glitches in Bethesda games, and Fallout New Vegas, which uses Bethesda's game-making tech, transcend issues of annoyance or irritation. They're so consistent and so vivid and unique that they stop being flaws. It's like the scratching on the vinyl, the artifacting on the VHS. But I do remember when New Vegas initially came out, the biggest complaint was perhaps the bugs. But yeah, if we get into this more, I think he's referring to some of the more, I guess you would say, endearing bugs. So it says this right here. Our memories of various cultural items or sense of them having a distinct identity are ultimately rooted in their functional defects. But Starfield doesn't have bugs, or at least doesn't have bugs in a way that makes it identifiably Bethesda. It sounds perhaps a little absurd or even somehow ungrateful, but there's part of me that looks at modern video games, even the biggest, most complex RPG games, and looks at how clean they look and feels deadened. So, like, if this actually becomes a thing where people are complaining about this, listen, Bethesda's actually listening to feedback. I'm not too sure if you guys want bugs.
Bethesda's not listening to feedback. Anyone who tells you Bethesda cares about your absolute useless feedback is flat out lying to you. Bethesda doesn't even patch their games. What's the big patch? An eat button, a fucking FOV slider that they knew that you're gonna want from the moment the game launches? Yeah, they don't care about your feedback.
In Elder Scrolls 6, they might go, you know what? Let's add in some artificial funny bugs. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing in game development down the road or not. Not to say that Bethesda would ever do that, but yeah, it's like an interesting discussion because to see people actually requesting funny bugs and glitches, maybe, just maybe, developers will get creative and actually develop them into the game at launch as a memorable thing. Who knows? Now, next up we have this one. Bugs and glitches, especially of the Bethesda variety, where you meet an NPC in Fallout, and while they're talking to you, their head spins around like the hands on a clock or a giant...
Admittedly, I agree about one thing. Encountering a bug in a game you don't encounter bugs and it's something absolutely crazy, it's kind of funny. It is an experience that you do remember. But that's if, the game's not a buggy mess to begin with.
Charges towards you in Skyrim only to sink into the ground, reappear seconds later, and blast in the sky. Creates a jagged and strange kind of human connection between you and the game maker. Wow. It almost sounds like you're in a QA session, like a quality assurance job to me. That's what that sounds like more than anything else. Now, my personal experience with Starfield is, yeah, there has been a minimum set amount of bugs, but there is one funny, memorable bug that does happen to me when I'm walking in Neon, for example. As I walk towards an NPC, they will start floating up, straight up to the ceiling, and then if I stop, they stop. And if I move forward, they keep going. So it's kind of a funny bug, and it definitely makes you laugh, and you're like, wow, what is going on? At the same time, it definitely pulls you out of the experience and the immersion of the game, and you do realize, yeah, this is a video game. So there has to be something said about that, because, yeah, no matter what, bugs do break immersion, despite them being hilarious. So let me know your take on this. Do you think there needs to be more endearing bugs or not in Starfield and Bethesda games going forward? I don't know. It's such a strange discussion. And yeah, honestly, I never thought we would be talking about this one. But there's also something strange going on with the food in Starfield. You may or may not have noticed this, but someone has created a mod to actually, I suppose you would say, fix this
Yeah, mods matter, as we all know.
issue. Check it out right here. It says, Plated, not crated. This is a brand new mod recently uploaded. It is by Tank Girl 444, and it goes on to showcase that, yes, everything is practically in these plastic little crates in Starfield for the food
Look at that. The future oddly resembles the current day, huh?
items. But what about plates? As you can see, the mod updates it to basically embrace plates, what we normally have around.
Plates.
So I think this is a cool addition, and
I mean, for the mod, this is pretty fun. This definitely adds, character, and this seems, dude, this mod seems to have more love put into it than the whole of Starfield combined. Wow.
definitely brings more life to, of course, Starfield. And if we zoom out here, check it out. Look at how delicious that looks. Actually, that's making
That
me
does
hungry.
look
I'm gonna
good,
admit it.
honestly, yeah.
But yeah, check it out in the...
Well, you can see the polygons, but you know, still does look pretty good. Not gonna lie, good job on you, Mother. That's actually, that's actually good. That's actually real nice. I like this. Wow, 10 out of 10 on you.
description below. It's called Plate Not Crated, and it's something that I myself didn't really pick up on, but to see the difference here, I could definitely see why someone would actually want.
Yeah, you know why you see the difference? Because it's a small detail. And when a game is missing absolutely all of the small detail, well, then the moment you actually notice the first small detail, it matters. It's feelable, it's visible. All these small things coalesce at the end to create your experience. And this is Starfield, a bunch of small and large bad experiences non-stop.
To develop a mod like this, it kind of makes it feel more like home when you actually have actual dinnerware and plates and stuff like that. So I think it's a great mod for sure. Now, let's get into your top comments from my previous video, which...
Oh boy, top comments. Can't wait to not do that. Well, anyway, that's open world games. Our favorite... What the hell is this? Oh, it's the description for some reason. It's open. Well, it's this. Pretty good stuff. Slowly but surely, the videos are going to be negative about Starfield at this rate. You bet that's going to happen. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sid saying thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.